It's a beautiful night in Tampa, John. 88 degrees. There's a lot of fans here, obviously not coming to hear us. They're coming to watch their Bucs play. Justin Fields starts at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was in New Jersey with Jets last year. They got a pretty good quarterback competition behind him, Garrett Nussmeier, who we'll talk about a little bit later in this game. But this is a team, John, that was 6-11 last year, first losing season in Mahomes' era. And they're trying to get their season back on track now.
Throughout training camp, this is going to be a big addition for this Buccaneer defense. Keep an eye on number 3. He can play outside. He can also go inside over the guard in some passing situations.
Chiefs come out with 2 tight ends, 1 back. Kenneth Walker, their free agent addition, Super Bowl MVP, is in the backfield, John. And he's got nowhere to go. I tell you what, last week against the New York Jets, Bucs corner struggled tackling a little bit. I did not know that Zion McCollum was going to play. He didn't practice most of the week, but he's back. And this is one of the things he does really, really well.
Well, you know better than anybody, that is not easy to do. Kenneth Walker, arguably the biggest offseason acquisition in the AFC West, in the open field. McCollum takes him to the ground with ease. 3rd down and 7. Let's keep an eye at the bottom of the screen. Ruben Bain. Let's see him get after the passer.
Well done by Bucs defense there, John. Look, they had man-to-man defense. We know that because Zion McCollum came in motion on that crosser. Keontae Scott, who was in the starting nickel role for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Keontae Scott making his presence felt.
Chiefs go back to cut. Cameron Johnson, who's been hurt most of preseason, is your returner to start this game. All right, John, let's take a quick look at your keys to the game.
On his game day communication with Baker Mayfield. That's going to be big. And I think Todd Bowles wants to feature some of his young guys against good competition. So expect the Bucs to sub early, and I'm really anxious to see Jalen Daniels at quarterback.
Bucky Irvin's in the backfield here, though, John. And no K-Dot tonight. There's somewhat of a competition at tight end, so we'll get to talk about that later. But, of course, they're going to hand the ball off to Bucky Irvin, off to the right side, and 4 or 5 yards. Let's talk about Bucky real quick. Bucky had a little bit of a down year last year. He missed those games. Comes into the offseason, looks healthier, looks happier. He has Kenneth Gainwell in the backfield. What do you think about their situation at running back?
I think it's exciting. He's 10 pounds heavier. He looks stronger. He only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. But what really excites Bucky, I think, is the return of a healthy offensive line. He's going to have the heck of a year.
Speaking of that offensive line, no Tristan Wirfs tonight. There's a second handoff to Bucky Irving, off to the right side, and gets his first down. Paul Rubelt. He's the international player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's starting at left tackle. But here's this inside zone run. Bucky Irving does one thing as good as anybody, and that's that jump cut, right, Coach?
He really does. His feet are always alive in the hole. He's got great vision, and I love his size. He can hide behind the offensive line, and he really does a great job finishing runs. But there's Rubelt, the left tackle. Keep an eye on him. He's our 4th string left tackle protecting Mayfield.
Which makes you think they might run the ball 3 times in a row here. To the right.
Wow.
And the reason if you're a Bucs fan at home, you're going, why are they running the same run to the right? Well, the other offensive tackle is really good on the right side. Luke Gedeke just signed a $90 million contract to be the bookend to Tristan Wirfs on the other side. And there's Zach Robinson, Coach. You have a little bit of insight on what he's going to try to do on offense this year. We won't see a lot of it today or in the preseason, but you like what he has going.
I do. He falls off the Sean McVay tree. And here's our first look at Kenny Gainwell. He used 2 different running backs extremely well in Atlanta. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and I'm sure he has a similar plan with these 2 backs. But you said it, Rondé, a lot of runs. The Buccaneers clearly working on their substitution. They're going to 2 tight end sets. They're getting to their 3 wide receiver looks, but they're not.
Self-inflicted wounds, if you will. He will not be very happy with Ted Hurst on that particular play. Third and possible. What do you call it here? Baker Mayfield, you're not letting him drop back.
This is going to be a screen or a draw, but you said it. Young receivers, he's got to take advantage of this playing time with McMillan out, Godwin is out, Abuka's out. Not a good start for Hurst.
Baker Mayfield in second. King Gainwell again. Richard back. Screen. It's Cameron Johnson. Cameron Johnson, coach, is a guy, much like Ted Johnson last year for the Bucs, who could play that role. And neither one of those guys have been practicing much lately. It's good to see Cameron Johnson on the field because he's one of the guys a couple of years ago who we were enamored with. And then he was hurt for the most part for the rest of the year. So seeing him getting some game time here in the preseason game 2 is a good thing.
I know they're counting on him in the punt return game. They need him to have a good finish to training camp.
Riley Dixon on the punt. Riley Dixon had an up and down game last week against the Jets. He booms this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Nico Maruvio on return, and another flag comes in here before we go to break. I'm pretty sure this is going to be some sort of holding on the Kansas City Chiefs.
These referees, they're in training camp mode.
Holding, receiving team, number 30. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Brad Allen's one
First
of the
down,
difference. Been to
Kansas
5 or
City.
6 playoff
Timeout.
appearances. He's been around a long time.
Relationship with any of them, Rondé.
Raymond James Stadium.
I want to reiterate that Chris Myers will be back next week, but I'm really fired up.
This is going to be one heck of a game. Chris is doing some other work for another network, but I needed a guy to sit next to me that knows football, and there's no better man that is a Ring of Honor winner, a Super Bowl champion, and the most winningest coach in Bucs history. So, John, you've had a lot of quarterbacks in your career. We get to see Baker Mayfield tonight. What do you love about this kid?
I love a quarterback that can make plays with his arm. He can beat you with his legs, his mind. But when you watch the film, Baker Mayfield can beat you with his heart, man.
He is the catalyst. We will see him tonight. A little bit of a down year from the prior year with Liam Cohen as offensive coordinator, but now he has Zach Robinson as his coordinator. But, John, number 1 draft pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2026, Reuben Bain Jr. How would you like to be preparing for this kid as an offensive coordinator?
I wouldn't like it. I would tell the offensive lineman, put your mouthpiece in and fasten your chin strap. This is an every down football player. He's a good run defender. He is relentless, and he doesn't get tired. I got film of him working harder after practice than most guys working during practice.
Well, you've got me fired up in the booth up here. I'm sweating, but we're going to come back. Bucs.
2020 over the Kansas City Chiefs, remembers it well. He's looking to get another one this year or perhaps next year, because after about a 3-week saga, his contract was negotiated and the extension was signed. 1 year, $30 million for the nose tackle, the 5th highest paid interior defensive lineman in the NFL. On the field, the impact, well, the stats don't lie. 35 sacks in his career, 8th most in Bucs franchise history. Off of it, Benjamin Morrison said he's been in his ear, getting him ready to be back. Of course, Morrison dealing with injuries, he said, has been a huge help. Vita said his heart is in Tampa Bay, and home is where the heart is. Coach Rondé, let's play some football.
I know everybody in Tampa cannot wait